Okay, I have started the underglaze process on my vase, and if you notice, I got some nice neat lines here, and I wanted to show you how I did it with a tape resist. Now I'm going to have to do a little bit of cleanup right there. So I'm just using velvet underglaze. I'm going to rotate this, and so I'm going to do a similar design. It doesn't have to be exactly the same on this side. So I am using just standard masking tape, but you can also probably use painter's tape to do this. So I'm going to, now so this works really well if you want those nice clean lines that are really difficult to achieve just with painting it on. I'm going to seal it as good as I can, kind of pressing the tape into the surface of the clay. Now this is wet clay, so it's not going to stay on there forever, but it should stay on long enough in order to get my underglaze on. I'm going to extend this a little bit up here. All right, so the tape is going to act as a resist. So wherever I put underglaze, it's not going to go where the tape is. Now I'm just using a simple sponge brush and just kind of putting it on. Now, when you read the container on the underglaze, it does say 3 even coats. And so once I get one coat, I can use a hair dryer to speed up the drying process, or I can let it sit, and then once it's dry, come back and add another coat and then another coat. Okay, so I have done 3 coats and I have let it sufficiently dry. So now I'm going to just carefully remove my tape, and it reveals those nice crisp lines. I do have a little bit of things that I can sgraffito off to clear it up. So I am going to continue doing something similar on all of my sides, and then I will show you how to do some removal of the black with sgraffito. All right, I wanted to show you a little bit about sgraffito. I have etched in little lines using just a sharp carving tool, and so I kind of wanted to show you like my process here. All I really did is have drawn in the lines, but I wanted to make some areas a little bit wider, and so you can just go in here and you gently scratch the clay surface. And so what you're essentially doing is removing parts of the underglaze that you have brushed on to create your design. So I'm just making certain areas of my lines a little bit wider and kind of cleaning up some of those lines to make them look more aesthetically pleasing. Now I don't want to brush this, like if you look, this has been brushed off, and so it's kind of got stuck to my underglaze. So I'm not going to brush that off, even though I have this strong desire to do so. I'm going to keep it there, and then I can simply, when I stand it up, most of that just falls off, and then that could be swept away and put in the trash. So then that way it's not impacting my artwork any. So that's the sgraffito process. I have added some circles to my design as well, and I can show you how to do that. So anything, like here's a little wooden tool. I'm just gonna dip it into my underglaze, and then I can simply kind of use this to create circles. Painting circles with a paintbrush is like, whoa, impossible. Like I can't ever get them to look like circles. So I feel like this is a super easy way of getting some circular design in those little strips. Very, very simple. I just kind of dab some of it off. I don't want it to be dripping, so I do kind of shake some of it off a little bit or wipe a little bit off before I go to my piece. So just using, this is a dowel rod really, just a little wooden tool, and I'm gonna continue on with that. Other areas that I want to talk to you about, I do have some like areas that I got underglaze on that I don't want. I can also scrape those and kind of clean up those areas as well. And I have like this little scalpel side, so I can kind of get in some of those hard to reach places without hurting my design. So you can do a little bit of cleanup as well if you accidentally got underglaze where you don't want underglaze, which happens, just to get it cleaned up and looking the way you want it. All right, so that's a little bit about sgraffito and adding underglaze. I hope that's helpful.